Yo, hey folks, it's Kevin, Big K Horror here, and I'm going to do a review on both VHS and VHS Part 2. Now, I'm going to preface here, if you're expecting me to do a rip-roaring, trash and tear it up kind of review, hate to disappoint you, but no, I am not. I'm going to give a glowing review of these films. Now, that's not to say that I'm not going to kind of give an honest review on some of the chapters of this movies, because, you know, some of these chapters did give, you know, kind of a head-scratching kind of appeal to them. But, yes, you know, since these did come out, you know, in the beginning of 2012 and 2013, this is my favorite new franchise, horror franchise of this decade, of the teens of the 2000s, yeah. So, with that said, yeah, VHS Part 1 and VHS Part 2. Okay, boom, let's start. Let's let it rip. Alright, okay. The day this came out on Video on Demand, Movies on Demand, my friend, you know, ordered it, and I came over to his house and we watched it. And yes, the first day I watched it, I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? And now, from the first day I watched it until the day it came out on DVD and I got it, the very first story, Amateur Night, involving Batgirl, you know, the vampire succubus chick that the horny jock boys, you know, pick up, you know, to have sex trysts with in the hotel room, still stands as my very favorite story in this film right here. This is my favorite story of all in this movie. It packs a punch, and it's very original, inventive, and fun, and fucked up, and gross, and just it's thumbs up in my book. So with that said, a lot of people had a problem with the second chapter, which was The Second Honeymoon by Ti West. I effing love it. I love the fact that throughout the chapter of Second Honeymoon, when, you know, the boyfriend or the husband and wife are on their little, you know, escape on their little trip, their second honeymoon, you know, through I believe the Grand Canyons, you know, there's these little hints being dropped left and right from when they go to that little booth that gives little fortunes out. There's a little hints dropped throughout what's going to happen to the husband and to the relationship and to what's going to happen right down to the intruder of the hotel room. And I love the twist at the end. I mean, I loved it. And I know a lot of people didn't like it. Now, if anybody were to trash Ti West, I would trash his chapter or his short in ABCs of Death. That was lazy. His laziness was not in VHS. I loved it. I thought it was a great short. I love the twist. And if you rewatch it again, now, granted, the first time I watched this, again, I was like, blah, what? I thought it was great a second time around. The third time around was even better. This movie gets better and better upon viewing. It's one of those kind of movies. It just gets better and better and better and better. Anyway, so it's one of those. Anyway, so now we get to, I think, Thursday the 18th, or what? Tuesday the 18th? Yeah, Tuesday the 18th. The one out in the woods with the horny kids. Now, that was one of those, when I first saw it, I just did not get. I mean, it was cool. It was a cool concept, but smashed down into like a 20-minute little chapter, I was just like, what's going on? What's the reasoning? Who, what, why, where? Now, the date came out on VOD, Movies on Demand, Video on Demand, in August of 2012, is the first time I saw it. That same weekend I saw it a second time, and I still didn't get it. Maybe that had something to do with me at that time being on Xanax, and I was drinking, and I you know, went over my head. Now, when this came out on DVD in December of 2012, that was my third time seeing it, and I got it then. And that's when I officially realized VHS was gold. You know, that's when I officially realized that VHS was fucking awesome. I got it then, you know. That girl came to that campsite at some time with her friends, and they all got brutally murdered off by an unseen killer that she could only she could only see through the viewfinder of her VHS, old school 80s VHS, video camera, or the video camera. And she was leading her new pack of friends there just as murder fodder, and she was trying to kill off the killer again. She set up booby traps for it. That's pretty much the gist of that. And I loved it. I thought it was pretty fucking cool. I dug it, The next story after that, I believe it's the next story after that one. That one went over my head too a little bit as well, about the boyfriend or girlfriend talking over the webcam chat with him harvesting the alien embryos in her. That was kind of like, whoa, what the hell, But I like the twist, him being in the next room the whole time, or in the next door, or whatever the heck. I thought it was a really cool idea done, kind of. I don't know. It was a really cool idea, but it was just really fucked up. Because when I saw the trailer originally, before the movie even came out, I thought that whole chapter was going to be just a complete supernatural haunted house kind of thing. But I liked the twist. I thought it was really cool, and I believe that one was direct. I could be correct. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I believe that one was directed by the guy who starred in the Ty West chapter, Second Honeymoon, who gets murdered with a knife in the neck. But I could be wrong. Okay, moving on. That leaves next, I think, the last chapter, which is October 31st, 1998, which is directed by Radio Silence, who went on to do the new film Devil's Due that came out this past January, which I did not go see, honestly. But I did love their chapter and the last chapter of VHS. I thought it was very standout. I thought it was fucking great. I thought it was really cool and fun. And I thought it packed quite a punch. I loved the twist of them going to this Halloween party at this house. They didn't know really what the location was or who it was or what. And they thought they were saving this girl from this, satanic ritual that actually turned out that this ritual that they thought this girl was being sacrificed in, no, they were trying to save the girl. She was possessed from the devil. Anyway, so all in all, I thought, okay, VHS, this movie, the only problem I had with this movie at the time, and I kind of still do, is the wraparound story about the guys that are hired by the third party to go to the guy's house to find the VHS tapes, in which those VHS tapes are are telling the story. And those guys are a bunch of douchebags, and that's what they're supposed to be. They're video vandals. They're going around robbing people, lifting up girls' shirts and fondling their tits, and for a bunch of bucks. And they get their just desserts too at the end, thankfully. But, and they're supposed to, but it's disturbing because people really like that do exist, especially in our nature of these days with social media and our, camera phones, people shooting anything for an extra view on YouTube, but because people like that exist, they'll, shoot anything just for a thrill. But, that was disturbing. But other than that, it was good. And so I'm going to move on. But this was like the nihilistic punk kind of, F you to the mainstream cinema of Hollywood of horror what's come out lately. Even though it's found footage. I know some people are like, it was found footage, Kevin. That's so cliche Hollywood. Well, yeah, but it's still an F you to Hollywood in my opinion. So, move on to VHS Part 2. Okay, now this Part 2, in my opinion, is it's a bit more, it's kind of like what they did was, they took VHS Part 1, trimmed the fat, kind of took the leanness, took the lean meat, trimmed all the fat off, and they made Part 2, alright? And it's less nihilistic, a little less punk, and a little bit more fun. Okay? You got and this one is, and it's connected still to Part 2, and it's still connected. The outro story, everything. Okay. This one is involving a college student that is gone missing, and the mom has invited private investigators to find out what's wrong, where he's gone. So the private investigators broke into his apartment and found a stash of videotapes. So, and they went on his computer and found the footage of the video vandals from Part 1 that are now dead. But this has taken place, I think, before part 1. And they found the videotapes and they start playing them. And so you now have the new chapters. And this one starts off with a guy who, and it's begins with the director and his chapter, and it's by the first chapter is by the guy Adam Wingard who did the superior, excellent film that I believe was made in 2011 but came out in 2013. You're Next. And his chapter, it kind of plays out like the film, The Eye. But, he gets in a car accident, you know, he has ocular surgery, and now he has an implant with a camera eye. And he gets sent home, and it's kind of like a new eyeball, a new technology, where they're recording it, and he goes home and he starts seeing shit that he's never seen before, ghosts, spirits, and it's spooking him out. And this girl that he crosses paths with in the hospital when he's leaving the hospital after he got his implant, shows up at his house to warn him about the shit he's about to see and experience, because she has gotten she's got an implant in her ear when she was deaf. And she can hear the shit, you know, she can hear the voices of dead people. And shit goes down in a bad way, and that's pretty much the chapter of the first story. And the second story involves, and it's a very fun chapter. It's by the people who made the Blair Witch Project, or one guy from the Blair Witch Project made this chapter. And it's pretty much the POV version of a guy who's in the park who is bitten by a zombie, and it's about the outbreak of a zombie plague in a park. And it's the POV version of a guy with like a GoPro helmet on, and you know, you get his version of how it is to become a zombie, and as a zombie and a horde of zombies descend on a 10-year-old's birthday party full of family and kids, and it's just balls to the wall fun and mayhem, and it's fun. The third chapter is, and in itself could have been its own film, but it's good, intense, and just fucked up, and I loved every fucking second of it. And it's, I think, by the guy who made this film called The Raid, which I've never seen, and I could be wrong, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, but it's called Safe Haven, and it's about this Indonesian compound cult where this news team wants to get in on the action about what's going on, you know, about this cult, and they finally meet the cult leader. He invites them in, you know, and they finally get in on what's going on. But at the same time, the team that's in on, the news team that's in on what's going on with the cult are having their own drama on what's going, you know, there's drama going on with the news team, with like the boyfriend and girlfriend of the news team finding out that the girlfriend has another guy that she's seeing on the news team, impregnated by him, and blah, blah, blah. Turns out that the cult is real. There's really a big suicide pact, kind of like Jonestown going on. And guess what? The cult is real, and Satan, or the devil, is going to be coming out of it, this cult. And they're the real deal. And it's a good chapter, and it packs a punch. And my favorite chapter of all in this whole fucking hoopla of anthology found footage, madness, is the last chapter, and it's by this director. Oh my god, his name escapes me at the moment, but he's the director of Hobo with the Shotgun, and Treevenge, and a bunch of other stuff. And he did my favorite thing in ABCs of Death, which was Y is for Young Buck. Anyway, which was my favorite chapter in that whole entire anthology, because it was so 80s and fucking symbolic and awesome. Anyway, he did Slumber Party Alien Invasion, and it's nothing but these parents go out of town and leave their kids, and it's like the older sister with her boyfriend, douchebag boyfriend, and all the little kids just having fun, and like the dog, and like the kids are with their video cameras just fucking playing pranks on the older sister, and the older sister and her boyfriend playing pranks on the little kid, and it's just like madness going on between them, and before they fucking know it, there's an alien invasion descending on their property, and the dog has the camera strapped to him, and it's all coming from the point of view of the little fucking family dog, and I mean, and it just, madness ensues, and it's almost like a found footage 80s, it's almost like it's like it came from like Steven Spielberg Amblin Entertainment 80s film. That's the only thing I can describe it as, but it's the Slumber Party Alien Invasion. And it's the last segment of VHS Part 2, and it's just, it's totally far out there, and it was my favorite chapter of the whole thing, and probably my favorite chapter of all of them. Well, no, I take that back. Like I said, in VHS 1, there was the, vampire succubus chick in the very first chapter, Amateur Night. But this ranks right up there of fun. And if these movies were, these movies were made strictly for like the party set. If you have a group of friends out there, and you just want to put a movie, open a pizza, drink some beer, toke some weed, whatever it is you do, you and your friends, or there are no substances involved, whatever it is you do, put on VHS 2, whatever it is, These movies are balls to the wall fun. Now, there are a lot of haters out there that hate it, or not even they're haters. Maybe they just don't like them. They hate found footage, and that's understandable too. There's a lot of found footage movies I hate as well. They're just fucking boring. But these movies, to me, these movies are the ultimate FU to the Hollywood shit you get in the theaters. These movies are fun. Now, I would love to see something like this out in the theaters, but no such luck. So, all the directors and creators and writers that made these movies, thank you, because you know what? You made shit exciting again. So, these are my thoughts on these films, and if you've never seen them, they're on, I believe they're on still Netflix, but if you haven't seen them, check them out, give them a try. You might just have fun. Alright, they brought the anthology format back to horror. They made them new and exciting again. Alright, check them out. Peace out.